More or Nothing.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Maul or Nothing. It's our rugby roundup, very much a Champions Cup special. We're going to blast through all of the main talking points from a fabulous weekend of rugby action involving so many of the top teams. But there is only really one place to start, and that is a 3-word message in our WhatsApp group from Max Latif. I'm so hanging. Let's get the group chat out into the debrief. Your night in Bordeaux. How are we?
I think I'm getting worse with the piss. My piss fitness is terrible. Just completely lobotomized, but it was great. We were in a little box park to start off with, just next to the hotel. Had a really, really nice burger, just to sort of line the stomach, so to speak. And then it got dark and stormy, metaphorically and literally, with the finest rum cocktails I could get my hands on. And then we went on a merry, merry goose chase, I, Magnus, Holmes and Pocky O'Connor, trying to find somewhere for some more nocturnal frivolities. But ultimately, we couldn't get in anywhere anyway. So we ended up back at the hotel for some more craziness.
Why wouldn't they let you in? Because you're too drunk, or?
I think so. One of us is covered in wine, and the others are just arguing about nothing. Just completely barking mad and unhinged. But yeah, it was so funny. I was crying today, just crying with laughter. You know, the trips back are so good. Everyone goes back through the group chat. You see the photos, some of the messages the boys write, and you're just having a good old giggle and just. Yeah, it was very, very fun. Josh Caulfield, a particular highlight today. My God, that man is a ginormous Sasquatch. But yeah, it was very funny. Bordeaux is lovely, by the way. Great city.
So even after the loss, Pat didn't mind. You were out in the town.
Yeah, we were out in the town.
Good man. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. It was a team of sort of experience and a lot of greenhorns. So we had a few debutants on the weekend, and against that Bordeaux backline in particular, Damien Penaud and Beerberry and stuff, they were on fire. It was a tough old day out, but I actually had loads of fun. You know what? I told you, lads, that playing loosehead is like riding a bike. You never forget. Although I'm not sure if my man was so keen. The big fella, sadly, was. I don't know. There was a bit of a GA, I thought, at one point, but it was. I had fun. I had a lot of fun.
Really? You got a bit of a feeling that he was just tapping.
I don't know. He was picking and choosing his moments. That's for sure. Yeah, I was like, he probably could add a bit more, or maybe I just don't know my own strength, Ryan. But yeah, it's going back to loosehead's weird now because I'm way more conservative. Back when I was younger playing loosehead, it was just crush my cervical into dust and try and peel out the tight head at any scrum. And that's obviously a double-edged sword because when you're doing that, it sort of gives kinks and sort of deviates the body out to go and get the tight head. Naughty chat here. But now I'm sort of way more conservative because I sort of know from being a tight head, sort of what's a good picture and how you can lure a tight head into being more stable so he doesn't dominate you, essentially.
Well, maybe that was it. Maybe you think there's a gentleman's agreement there. Maybe
that's what it was. Yeah, I just economized him. You're right. But yeah, it was good fun, mate. Really, really enjoyable.
Got to be something for that. Something said for that. Like the fact that you play tight head most of the time and you show the switch over to loose head and to understand that, right, I'll put it this way, all right? Because I don't understand what goes on at the front. You do. But they stuck me in the boiler house once, right? And I know for a fact that what I want from the 8 now is I just want him to just be constantly on my arse. I don't want him pushing one or the other. So I felt that. So actually for me going and experiencing somewhere else in the scrum, it benefited me to then when I was at 8.
Yeah.
So
the crack was, yeah.
For a prop, that's even more so because you end up, like you said, scrummaging against the position that you're used to playing.
Yeah.
Do they do that more? Surely when you train scrums,
you
should scrum at loosehead more just to understand it.
I know, but it's quite it is different because one, you're one, you're trying to sort of maintain a shape. At tight edge, you're trying to maintain a platform to maximise what you're getting from the back. Whereas at loose head, it's more sort of combative. You're sort of clinging on in a very sort of awkward position. You've sort of got one hand here on the tight head, and then you're clinging on for dear life to your hooker, trying to like glue it all together to make sure the tight head can't like run rampant through you. When
Mark,
it's going well at loose head, though,
Mark, have you got any idea what's being said here? Are you just like, what the fuck are you talking
about? I like the enthusiasm. And it is sort of known even for like non-total nauses that it does take some skill to be able to perform both loose and tight, which makes Max an even more amazing proposition. And actually, just to continue noshing him off quickly, there wasn't many in the there was a times right up of the game. There weren't that many big, sort of positive, that many positive points for Bristol, far more for Bordeaux, of course. But there was a nice line which said, and this is verbatim, they did manage to claw back 3 points through Sam Worsley's penalty as Max Laif showed good touches in the loose and solid scrum power.
So you didn't watch the game, you just read about it?
I've done both. I like to do all-round research, mate.
It was fun. It was actually, I actually had a lot. It was a very therapeutic weekend. It made me love rugby again. I love Europe away days. It is the best.
That's what it's all about. Even watching it, boys. Even watching it, you're like...
that theme song. Bum, 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 bum. The theme song hit me as I ran out again, bro. And I was like, just thinking of Ryan, me and Ryan doing a cappella, and then I had a chuckle to myself.
You're just giving it a... Imagine that. Imagine I was on the old comms as well, and I could have given it...
Yeah, that would stars would align there, wouldn't they? Yeah, it was good, man. It was really good.
Talking about going out over the tannoid, I forgot to tell you, last week I ended up for Viaplay shooting merchandise into the stands at half time instead of doing any commentating. Maybe that's something about my commentating, but they were like, "Can you go down and shoot the merchandise gun into the stands?"
Oh, mate, that must have been really hard to fight some intrusive thoughts you had there. Were you not thinking of just taking people out with that thing?
All I thought was just, go and try and get someone point blank, shoot Mike McCarthy, do something stupid. But instead, with the gun, I had my microphone, which I thought was only going out over the TV. And next thing, I give it, "Say hello to my little friend," as loud as I could, and it's come out around the whole of Kingston Park. No.
But how fast? How powerful are those things? Is it fairly?
Well, the first fella, I think, is Van der Vault, the big six that plays for Newcastle. He had to go first, went like that, pump straight over the top of the stand.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah. So
and like Newcastle at the moment, they're obviously desperate for money. They're going, "Don't shoot the fucking merchandise."
We need everything we got,
mate. Whereas I'm just trying to maim kids with it, but fucking hell. So I was doing that. I'll tell you, it was very powerful, though. Very powerful.
Max, just a quick word on. There's a lot of chat around in the competition, teams rotating their squads. Understandable, I suppose, with the schedule and the nature of the comp, but particularly the emphasis, I guess, from Bristol on the Prem. Did you guys feel like it was devaluing the competition, or like we're putting out a second team here, or was it more, you don't really think of it that way?
I don't. Obviously, you know what's going on. We're not lemmings, but I understand that we're like the second choice. But for me, it's just an opportunity to go and lock horns with a load of huge French people. It's class, and like in the Premier sort of club competition. So for us, it's brilliant, and I think for younger guys, it's an invaluable experience. Like they're going to cherish that forever, like for sure. Load of young guys like Sam Worsley, Joe Owen, those guys will remember that hard out. And
why did you do it? Because I mean, you're joint third at the moment with Bulls.
Because you only need to win, because of the format of the competition, you only really need to win 2 games.
So you're happy going with the French approach, just winning the home games and sort of...
I think that's the way we'll target it, indeed. Yeah. But I think Sale did the same thing, and there was uproar. Yeah, I saw it all. It brings the competition into disrepute. It's a mockery of all this blah blah blah. It's, you know what it's like. And maybe there's some kind of case for that, because I understand that people want to see the very best players, the very best talent, and playing in these games. But there's a lot of rugby still to go. Do you know what I mean? So there still has to be a fair bit of resting when you can get
more on the people that have organised the competition and the structure of it. Then they should have found a way. Oh, to be honest, I can't even remember how it used to be. It was groups of.
Yeah, do you remember? I reckon just go back to the. I don't get why they changed that.
Was it 6 groups of 4?
Yeah, it was that exactly. Yeah,
yeah, that
it
is.
was 6, wasn't it?
Why have they done that? I think because they don't want teams from the same leagues playing against each other. That's the main thing in these group stages. They're trying to make sure they avoid teams from the same leagues playing each other. But I said I don't know how it would work. Maybe there's something in that then, but that makes a lot more sense. You've lost one, but you're still in the running. And there's a few teams, if you look at the groups, that are in a similar place. So,
yeah.
Ryan, let's get over to your weekend. You covered off Glasgow versus Bayonne, or Bayonne versus Glasgow, I should put it. Can I just say, watching it, 2 things actually really made me laugh. When you called out Zander Fagerson for stopping try of the season.
Hey, boys, they've asked me to stop being biased. I was like, oh, Zander, you ruined it for everyone. It would have been wonderful as well. And he then was cynical, gave away a yellow and he got yellow, didn't he? Yeah, he got.
Yeah, he did.
He got a yellow card, but yeah, ruined it, killed the ball, and you was thinking, "Oh, come on, mate, let that one go. You want to give it to the people," and that's what I was trying to do there.
Mate, it was great, and what I loved was the guy who started that move, Megdu, the winger, who danced through what looked like 55 Glasgow players to like go all the way up the field, and obviously it didn't end up with a try. But conversely, at the end of the game, Ali Miller gassing Megdu to score in the corner.
Yeah, he's done him a kipper. I think he just wasn't expecting it. He saw the line-out tape and slowed down, and he's been absolutely burnt. Also, what about the commentator that was with me, who George Horn swore, and he was like, "Oh, sorry for the bad language from George Horn there," and I was like, "Don't dob him in."
Great named him.
Yeah. Tell you what is weird, and I don't know why I didn't expect it to be like this. I commentated from a studio. Obviously, I wasn't in Bayonne. I've been told not to say that because, you shouldn't do that. But it was so weird. I was basically in a cupboard in Chiswick, right? I put in this little tiny cupboard, and sort of you dim the lights, you got the headphones, and you got to turn it right up and try and get into the atmosphere. And all that Matt, the commentator with me, said was, whatever you do, just don't tell them that we're not at the stadium. And he's...
And now you're doing it right now.
No. First line, he said, "What an atmosphere!" And I said, "Oh God, yeah, I'd love to be there." Straight off the bat, I couldn't have written it. I went, "Oh, I would have loved to be there," and then I was like, out on the pitch playing.
Yeah,
good save.
What have I done?
Great save.
But yeah, it was slightly strange, but a good game, and it was a bloody good first half. A little bit down in the second half. But yeah, Glasgow boys doing a good job and going over there and getting a bloody good win, a very good win because they just don't lose at home. Bayonne, they haven't lost at home in 2 years or something like that. They've lost 1 at home or something like that. So yeah, it was a good win by the boys of Glasgow, but I do wish I was over there to celebrate with them. That would have been lovely.
Was it a first team Glasgow side that was put out, conversely to what we were saying with Max?
Yeah, it was pretty stacked. There was probably the back row was a little bit. There's a lot of injuries at the moment. Matt Fagerson injured, Jack Dempsey injured at the moment.
Oh, Wilson, Wilson ready?
There was a few boys rested because we're coming into the 1872 Cup matches now against Edinburgh over the next 2 weeks. So they're big ones, and they're the ones where the Glasgow and Edinburgh boys are fighting for a Scotland jersey. So they're going to be tasty. But a pretty stacked side. Sione Tuipulotu was back from his holiday. He was in St. Lucia, and he was back from that. We had a pretty stacked team out, and the boys went well.
Let's talk Northampton versus Toulon. A fabulous result for the Saints and leaving Toulon quite a lot to do. Great game. Courtney Lawes, man of the match, just pulling out big performances week in, week out.
The guy's a freak show. What's going on? He's having renaissance. He's the best back rower in England, and he's retired. And the Six Nations is around the corner. Will he make a triumphant return?
Nah.
No, you think he's had enough?
I think he's a man of his word. I think he's
do you reckon he's too much integrity?
He just had a big old what was that? Sort of like a testimonial dinner or something. There was a big dinner. So after raking in a load of cash from that as well, you're going to be shitting on those.
Sorry, Ryan. Do you think it's too awkward for him for Courtney Lawes to return to the international scene because he's taken some cash for his testimonial?
Yeah, I think so. You can't fucking do that.
You can't come out the testimonial. That's bloody robbery.
It would be quite funny, to be fair.
It would be brilliant, wouldn't it? And we'd all be like, "Oh, that's what he was up to. I see." Yeah. But yeah, maybe there's some kind of like a sort of explanation for it. Maybe that pressure of being the England captain and stuff, and now he can just focus on playing for the Saints. And he's clearly off the back of the World Cup, he's been in incredible form, like head and shoulders above the rest. He's some boy.
Yeah, so Northampton sitting very nicely at the top of that group with 2 wins, and Toulon, with all that cash getting thrown away, down the bottom with 2 losses. It's not great for Toulon.
Boys, quick words. David Ribbon's slightly muted response to his try. I don't know, was there maybe he was booed by home fans? I wasn't sure anyway. But where are you guys at with celebrating tries against your former team, or when you've seen other people? I know you're a one lady man, aren't you, Wilson? Just Glasgow.
I am a one lady man, a one club man.
But what are the thoughts around that sort of celebrations against your exes?
Yeah, play on in it. It usually depends on the context, though, doesn't it?
Max, you don't fucking celebrate.
He didn't even.
This is true. I'm saying he's play on. If I did ever
fall on the floor and die.
What?
You just fall on the floor, curl up, and die.
Bro, I swear, today was yesterday was really good. Way better. I was celebrating wholeheartedly with everyone. I was in amongst it.
Were they asking what you were doing there? What's going on, Max?
Why are you here? Why are you happy? Are you enjoying yourself? No, of course not. I'm out here.
I'm proud of you. But what do you think of it then, Max?
Yeah, I think it's all right. Especially if I think with given context, it's quite interesting. But if a team's basically sort of shelved a guy and was like, "No, we don't want you anymore," and then you come back and touch down, that's brilliant. That's the best kind of revenge, isn't it?
100%. I'm all for it. I'm all with it. The only ones I don't like is when they celebrate before they've scored, which we spoke about last week. But I think that, I do. I like celebrations. I think you need to bring it in. Like, you look at the atmosphere at the Stoop. There was a real buzz, eh? And you hear the music going off. There's bands playing. There's chants coming out, which different types of chants. You want that. You want to try and build a bit of a buzz. Even when they were over at Racing last week, they had an away fans. And you've got to give the fans something to cheer about. So, yeah, too right. I like a bit of celebration, and you can't hold back because you're playing for another team or playing against a team that you used to play for. You've got to go for it. You've got to give it to them. Wind them up. It's all part of it.
With the Dave Ribbons thing, though, I saw some a tweet that sort of talked about him saying that it was time for him to move on or something, and he thought the club had a soft underbelly.
Oh, really?
So, okay, then that's the narrative. What are your thoughts on that? What if you're?
I think that's part of the narrative. I'm not sure that I need to actually make sure I'm not making things up here.
Well, so you reckon if that is the case, but you look at Northampton, something's going on there. There's almost a revival. There's the fire's been lit and they're going again. They've just done Sarries away from home. They come up to Glasgow, who've lost one game in 2 years or so, and now they've rolled Toulon, who are stacked and full of absolute superstars. Who have they got next in the Premiership? I wouldn't want to be that team, whoever it is, because I think they're on a bit of a roll. They're finding something. They've got a lot of young players, like the likes of Finn Smith, Dingwall, Freeman, George Furbank, 15. He's been playing out his skin, and you just think there could be something going on here.
They're taking on Gloucester. No, they're playing Gloucester away.
Oh,
that's a good one there. Yeah, they're in trouble. Yeah.
So suddenly, like rolling into Christmas, they're laughing. They're absolutely laughing. And
yeah, they're stacked at the moment. Guys playing so well. Alex Moon's been class. Curtis Langdon. Obviously, Courtney Lawes has been unbelievable. Trevor Davison's has been huge for them. They got it all at the moment. Got serious depth all over the park. Man, they're going to be tough. Man, them and Bath are looking very, very interesting for this year, don't they?
Well, let's talk about Bath actually. Kind of a mad game in Cardiff. Loads of tries and surprisingly good value from the Welsh, which is great to see, right?
Yeah, well, I've got an official apology because I wrote them off last week. I said they're going to get out.
I told you they were all right. I told you they were good.
Well, I see quite a bit of them in the league. You know, they are. But they've got a young team and they're building again. The Welsh regions are in a bit of trouble at the moment. But I wrote them off. Fuck, boys. 7 tries before half time, 25-24. If you go 43 minutes, both teams have bonus points 43 minutes into the game, straight after. Unbelievable. And then 69 minutes is all on a knife edge, isn't it? And 32-32. And they just pull it out the bag right at the end, Bath. But fucking hell, what a game. What a game with so many good tries.
I think the perfect result in a weird way, right? We didn't want a total destruction. So it's great to see Welsh rugby doing okay after having been in the doldrums. But also, we've got a very big week coming up, haven't we, fellas? Where we are cooking Christmas lunch at the Russells, Fourth in Russell, and some other of the Bath fellas, I think, popping in and out. I think maybe your old pal Cam Redpath as well. And there's some other people flying in for what is sure to be an amazing, amazing special, Christmas special in Bath. So we sort of wanted them to win, right? Otherwise, it would have been a bit negative.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been as good. And especially the fact that Finn's missus is raging because I've got 2 giant 7-kilo turkeys sent to the house. And she's like, Finn, what the fuck is this? She was like, why have you got 2 turkeys? We're not even here for Christmas. And he's like, Wilson, just blame it on Wilson. So, looking forward to it. It'll be good fun. And the fact that they have won, the fact he got man of the match, which a lot of the Welsh fans, a lot of the Cardiff fans weren't very happy about. They were saying just because he's Finn Russell and he kicked a few, well, he didn't. He missed a few of his kicks. So they were a bit pissed off. They said he wasn't even the best 10 on the field, is what the Cardiff fans are saying.
They make De Beer's good though.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I'll give it to him. That's what I mean. It was an end-to-end game, wasn't it? And
yeah.
The problem was they named man of the match obviously 5 minutes before the end, and then he goes away.
5 minutes before it kicked off as well, probably.
Yeah. Fine, you could tell him that tomorrow. That's fine.
Well, here, but by the way, that's another thing. When they ask you to do man of the match, you do, like, if I don't like you, I ain't giving it to you.
There it is! There it is!
Yeah, but it's, you know what I mean?
Hang on. So wait, if you're commentating, let's say, at some point, it's like a knockout game between Glasgow and Bristol, Max Laif comes on for his 38-minute burst. Man of the match.
He's getting it. He's 100% getting it.
I wonder if that could ever be like reversed. If it's so ridiculous, when a commentator just got it so wrong. Has it ever been like?
I don't think it can be because
doing it live.
I sorted Haster out with the gig down at Viaplay this weekend, and he was doing the Gloucester game, and Matt Banahan was with him. And Matt Banahan, for a laugh, gave it to the Gloucester 10 who was standing in just to piss Haster off, is what I heard. Which I was like, fair play.
That is so banners. That is the most banners thing I've ever heard. Oh, that's class. Good from him.
But yeah, I think Edinburgh played Benetton, and I think Edinburgh were even losing. And they sort of whisper over and say, who you thinking man of the match? And they started running down the Edinburgh team sheet, and I just started running my finger down the Benetton team sheet. They were like looking at me like, what are you doing? But yeah, so only won that. But Finn got man of the match. Fair play to the fella. He got his little zebra. That's a bit weird. Why are they giving out little zebras to people? Little teddy bears. You seen that? Investec. It's the logo.
Oh, Investec. Yeah. That's their logo. Yeah, got you.
You got to think it's something better than that. You got to think like
no one wants a fuzzy zebra, do they?
No. Don't you get a bottle of Lash? It always used to be a bottle of piss.
Nah,
wasn't it?
well, because it used to be sponsored by Heineken, so they'd give you a couple of beers or something. It'd be quite a nice little treat. Not like old Leone Nakarawa. When I told you about that, I saw Nax at the weekend, by the way, because I also commentated on. God, that's bad. Edinburgh versus Cast. I commentated on that game. Caught up with my old mate Leone Nakarawa. He got 1 million Turkish airline miles for winning
telling
European
us.
Player of the Year.
So good, isn't it? And he just doesn't use them.
Yeah, so you're going to go. Use them. Brush, they're no use. They don't fly to Fiji. But yeah, so did that one and commentated with him. Caught up with him. Went and had a lovely Fijian curry game with the resident Fijians, Sam Kadrate and Aggie, legends. They always look after the Fijians in Edinburgh. So myself and Leone went back there after the game last night and had a lovely bit of curry, some lovely soup, and they made some cassava cake. Oh, it was just wonderful, Max. You would have loved it.
Oh, that does sound really, really wholesome. Oh, I'm so hungry.
What did kill my was I had to commentate on Newcastle Lions straight afterwards in the van. And that's where you're talking about Barks. It does get hard work because you've just done a game in a stadium with loads of fans. You're like, oh, this is exciting. And then you're suddenly in a truck just watching the game and you've got to jump out at half time and speak about it. But Newcastle, another loss for them. Anyway, where were we? Sorry, we've gone off track.
Bath's flying high. ATM, they're 2 from 2, aren't they? They're killing it. That was a good. And that's a great win, man. Alfie Barbary on fire. Tommy de Glanville tearing up. Everyone's. Oh man, I'm excited for them, to be honest. I think they're going to do real well.
Well, now that Arundel's ruled himself out, fucking a singer, boys.
I know.
He could be in for another bloody England call up,
couldn't
couldn't
he? He's doing bits. Bloke's a monster. I just think if he could, getting that knee right was obviously important, and then he just need to get a run of games and get his confidence back, and he's looking unreal at the moment. So
we like him.
Well, we'll get all the lowdown, won't we, this week on everything that's going on in the Bath camp, because it seems a much happier place than over the last few seasons where, we've unfortunately had to kind of get stuck into them a little bit when they were having some really poor run of form. And now doing amazingly. And
when does it change? Mate, sport's wild.
Wow, Finn Russell's there.
Oh man, no doubt he has a mad aura about him and brings a ton of confidence to other guys as well. When you speak to him, you can sort of feel it. He's got a very there's a sort of laid back. I wouldn't even call, it's like this cocksureness of himself, but it's not even in an arrogance. It's just it's just real. It's just so authentic. He's a great bloke.
I think it's all the snus. That's what I think. But I do remember, boys. Cardiff 12th in the URC, Bath joint top of the Prem. URC did pretty well this weekend. Let's go. What's next?
No, but okay, fine.
Cool.
Yeah, let's talk about the URC. Fine. Well done. You've brought this one up. Ulster Racing.
Top 14 leaders dominated by the 7th place in the URC, boys. Have you seen the quick taps from Ulster, by the way? Who was it last week?
Toulouse.
We saw... That was it. Toulouse with the DuPont wrapping around the back, Mulvaca taking the little quick tap, and they're trying different things. Then we saw Racing nearly butcher it themselves because they didn't have a second option, did they? They just went 3 in a row and then lost it for themselves, didn't take the scrum. But, boys, Ulster, changing it up. They're doing the mauls. So do you remember when those were a thing a few years ago? Everyone was taking quick taps and then just setting up mauls in the middle of the field.
You run into contact, one leg in, but the boys are already there. Boom, set up, rolling Maul off a carry.
And Dan McFarland, Ulster coach, would have looked at that and thought, let's bring that back. So fair play. They scored straight away with that one. But the second one, John Cooney didn't even take a tap. He kicked the ball to, I think it was Timoney, who was coming onto it at full pace. Because you think when you take a quick tap, you have to tap it, pick it up, and then try and build up ahead of steam. Whereas this time, Timoney was just coming ahead of steam, and John Cooney just taps him the ball, kicks it out of his hands, which I didn't even think about that. So I love the innovation. I actually want to see the most ridiculous one. I want to see them get more and more elaborate. I want them to get more and more stupid. And then they scored another one, a third one, off of the same thing, a little set up Maul again. Even when our old mate Le Garec that we loved last week. He lovely little crossfield to Imhoff, who didn't even have to break stride, but Racing just looked out of sorts, boys. They didn't look all there. They had a good team out as well. And Ulster dominated, which again we didn't see, did we? We wouldn't have thought that after last week.
It's
Yeah,
proving...
but you were right. You were right about Ulster and at Bath. Though you said they were good. That it just came together for them this game, and they managed to sustain it for 80 minutes.
Boys, a quick one on that though. The fact that there seems to be a lot of not shock results, but results where we're sort of going, well, I didn't expect that, and that's happened over both rounds, match day 1 and then now match day 2, where you're starting to feel like there's just a lot more competition and people are caring about it so much more than we did even just this time last year.
I think it's a reflection of the fixture list and obviously having the multiple, like the South African teams now as well. There's just so much strength and depth across all competitions now. So like all the teams that make it into the comp are real viable threats. But yeah, it's right. It's looking, it looks really interesting. Like La Rochelle, 2 losses. That's wild.
Okay.
Who would have thunk it?
Exactly there. Right. Let's go. I mean, this one's kind of mad in a way, right? For those who didn't see it, go check out the highlights, because when you watch a game, or if you just see the highlights and it feels like it's only going one way, and then suddenly somehow Stormers have come through. I think it's in the South African DNA, winning by a point, but Mannie Libbok just ice cold at the end. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's quite good, isn't it? Because everyone was sort of talking about his goal kicking and his game management in the World Cup. Now he sort of lost his place in the ends of Pollard, and then he showcases that against the back-to-back champs that are La Rochelle. It's quite wonderful, actually. Delightful. Very, very pleased for him.
But you did think La Rochelle had run away with it. You thought that was it. It was then buried 20 points to 9 or something like that. And then that try on
3 minutes left, almost, yes. 3 minutes left on the clock to go 27-14 up. So essentially win the game. Even the commentary was like, oh, there's the winning moment.
Yeah, and Colom smashes Hugo Venter into Sclavi, the Argentinian, which, when you look at that one, by the way, from the back, as Colom, the big 80s, smashed him, who, by the way, take Antonio and bring that absolute mutant on. You're just like, oof, not another one.
That was horrible, wasn't it? That was some shot. I was like, that's a big fella getting low and going ham.
But you almost feel like Sclavi's coming in, and he does get throttled towards him. He does make head-on-head contact. So it is foul play. But you just think at that point, you're like, that's it. They've run away with it. And oh no. There was... and the funny thing was, it's Hugo Venter that had just taken the absolute whack to the Swede that was hanging off the back of the Maul that scored the try for Mannie Libbok to go and then knock those points over. But that, boys, that is a clutch kick. Right on the... Oh, the other thing is, he's at home and the crowd are giving it, ooh, like cheering. Here, everyone goes silent, don't they? But over there, everyone's trying to cheer and G him up, trying to get the ball there. And fair play to him. Slots it, does it. They win by 1 point. And La Rochelle... Ooh. Again, URC team beating a big, former champions, but top 14. That's what I'm saying. URC teams pulled it out of the bag this weekend. It was a big weekend.
Forget it,
La
bro.
Rochelle, though.
Forget it. We love URC.
Love it. We love it.
I love it. I do. I love it. I love URC. Two losses though.
But how do you explain that though, right?
I understand they can still do something. Am I right? Yeah,
they can still. I mean, obviously, because they've got 2 points in the bag. I mean, it's not in the bag, but they've got 2 points, so they're not completely pointless in the group. But how do you? What's the fallout from that? Because a game that effectively they didn't do that much wrong. They more or less had it wrapped up, as we said, with just over 3 minutes to go, and then the angle you talked about was the one I found phenomenal, because it looks from the behind angle that he's so far away, the Argentinian lad, that it's just completely unfortunate that the whole thing's been ruled out. But we don't think it's controversial in any way.
Nah, for a second I did look at it and think, but when you look from behind, you think it's not. But actually, from the other angle, the TV cam, you think, nah, he could have done a little bit more to get low. It does get throttled towards him, but it's head-on-head contact. It's at least a penalty, which means it comes back for foul play anyway. But yeah, there was the right call. Hey, by the way, Ben Loader, he was Irish, wasn't he?
He was.
Fucking. Like, he's tearing up over there as well. He's gone over there after... so he must have gone after Irish folded. He must have gone and found the Stormers straight after that.
Yeah.
And gone over there. Is he English qualified? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was linked... He was like a... he came into camps and stuff as one of those sort of prospect players.
Yeah. But he's carving up. He's doing pretty well. He took his try pretty well. Willems's crossfield kick to Ben Loader. But... Yeah,
man, he's a problem. Freaky athlete.
But again, what a result, though, for the Stormers. Let's move on to that hammering at the Stoop. As you said, great atmosphere, but Toulouse asserting themselves in this competition. The big guns firing against what's not been a very good Harlequins few weeks anyway. They've been on good form.
I feel like with Quins though, there's a sort of weird inconsistency in there. They're like a really, really good one week, and then next week they sort of don't back that performance up. Is that just me, or I feel like that's sort of been a little bit of their story so far? But Toulouse are the team to beat right now. They're looking very, very formidable, and I think even with Ramos there, and obviously no Intermac, it just goes to show, like Dupont and him just running the show.
To tell you what, Quins looked all out of sorts. Their defence was diabolical, and you can't get away with that, can you? You can't get away with that. Not against Toulouse anyway, Max.
This is true, but yeah, they're Toulouse, aren't they? Malvaca was unbelievable. Andre Estes with the naughty finish, running over Paul Ramos, but
there's now a meme. You reckon he's become a meme?
Do you reckon that's a meme? I don't know, because given the context of the game, 47-19, you can meme it, but do you know what I mean? It's like, can you meme it?
I think it can be memed. I think it's going to be memed. It'll be out there as a meme. If it comes out as a meme,
he's not the first, and he won't be the last. Like Andre Estes, and it's just.
Whilst we're on Ramos, there was a sneaky little ruffle of Marcus Smith on a clear out. So Marcus Smith tries to clear him out, and he's rammed his head into the floor, give him a little scuffle and elbow, properly gone for him. There must have been something going on there. 10 against 10. And they had a scuffle, and it all went off of screen. That was where I couldn't quite see what would happen. But if I was Marcus Smith, I would have been going hell for leather, because it was pretty out of order. But then Marcus Smith's back in the line, so you're thinking, did you shit it?
Nah, I don't think Marcus Smith would, though. I think he's quite a confrontational guy. I think he'd go right back.
So I was trying to wonder why it didn't escalate into a big... Oh, I suppose when you're getting hammered, you got to rein it in a bit.
Yeah, I guess.
And they were getting hammered, so...
Also, to say he shit it, I mean, it's Ramos, who is like a phenomenal rugby player, but it's not like Cyril Bay or something who's just come in.
It's not me at first. Yeah, it's not me after.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why did it not escalate? Because you should have seen it. If you watch it back, he properly comes over the top, drops his elbow on his head, pushes his head into the floor.
I didn't even know Ramos was that kind of dude.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was pretty dirty. I was like, oh, hello.
Hello. Bit of a throwback here.
Wilson with a semi.
You got a Radradra back there.
Yeah, I did. Semi. It would have made Nutface. It would have made Nutface Mark proud.
Good.
Yeah, but Miarfa, what a freak. He's just getting better, man. He is, oh man, it's like an articulated lorry, and he's like a fridge. It's so fun to see an athlete that moves that well, that large. There's only a few of them. They're just like Sasquatches out there. He and Skelts just, oh mate, beautiful to see.
Boys, let's move on to Leinster coming back from 10 points down to see off Sale 37-27. The Irish team going top of their Champions Cup pool, but given a bit of a scare at home, eh?
Yeah, 11-13 at half time, but you just knew that Leinster team at home at the RDS, they're fucking, as Max would put it, they're different gravy, aren't they, Maxie boy? They are, and they started to pull out the fucking blocks after half time. But again, Van der Fleer, incredible. Cian Healy's still going. He must.
I know. Little sneaky meat pie as well.
He must. What? Hold on, I'm trying to think. He must be 37 now. 36, 37,
36.
36.
Very.
Did you just know that, Mark, or did you just Google that?
I just googled that.
Oh, I was going to say, you absolute nose.
36. Oh, right. That's not too bad.
No, he's not as old as I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, sneaky.
Look at there's
He's
Max
still
getting a couple of extra years in. Yeah.
Come on, lads. Come on.
But they did pull away, didn't they? They outclassed Sale in the second half. I know Sale had probably a younger team than people would have liked to see go over there, but Leinster outclassed them towards the end. Gibson Park, he was on fire. Like I said, Van der Fleer, we love him. We absolutely love him. He was doing naughty little things all over the field, but yeah, Leinster. And where are Leinster? What league are they in?
You want to see?
What league are they on? Hold on. What league do I commentate on? Seriously. What
league?
Just Mark, you say it. What league are they in?
I believe it's the URC, Ryan.
And they're top of the URC. So, and then the league that Sale are in,
I believe it is the Gallagher Premiership.
and they have it, another win for the URC. Top versus top. Interesting.
Ryan, you all have loved the result in Exeter with the Chiefs, 2 wins from 2, but seeing off Munster at Sandy Park and Henry Slade late try for a thrilling victory, a very late thrilling victory. Henry Slade, Max, got to be in the Six Nations. We thinking?
Oh, mate, it's tough, isn't it? Who's it going to be? It's like, oh my gosh, it's tough. Ollie Lawrence, him, someone else. There's someone else who's really good. Who is it? Will Joseph. So those are the form guys. So it's going to be tough, and they've sort of seen what they can get from Slady. But I think right now he's the man. He is. God, he's so handsome and dreamy as well, isn't he? And he's just doing these amazing things in the last minute. He's such a a movie star, good looking. But yeah,
he shaves his legs?
I'm happy. I reckon he 100% shaves his legs and he tailors his shorts. This is what I heard somewhere. I think he gets special shorts, so they're even shorter and more sort of accentuate the VMOs and stuff.
So he's not like one of the Tongans that asks for the 5XLs and wear them like Siwa Hallow
John O'Vo special, mate. John O'Vo would get like the 8XL. He wanted to be like NBA shorts on. Then he'd get a shirt. He'd get the biggest shirt he could. Thing was like a dress on him. It was so weird.
I'll tell you, Tanguy, the big prop that plays for Bayonne, he had them 5XLs on. They kept falling around every 2 minutes. He's there.
Yeah, they love it, don't they?
On commentary, I said, "Fucking, I think someone's stolen the old tie from his waistband because it just kept coming down. It was unbelievable, hanging around his ass."
It's so true.
It's weird. They love it. They go for the old, like you said, 8XLs, like baggy basketball shorts.
They want baggy and basketball looking. That's the drip they want. That's the show they want to give you. Maybe it also makes them look slightly smaller than they actually are, when usually they're sort of like mini planets, aren't they? Some of them.
Yeah. But instead, Henry Slade's going for the extra smalls.
Oh, he gets some even, something hemmed up inside leg more.
I'm sure
the boys used to do that. To be fair, like Haystow, Hugh Jones, and all that, they used to do that. They used to get their kit and get it like tailored. Sammy Johnson,
yeah, good from him. That makes sense. He looks like a guy who would do that. Actually, I'll tell you who else used to play. He used to play for Sale of Munster. You know Tony Buckley. Do you remember him? Yeah. The huge prop, mate. He must have worn because you remember he was a ginormous human, right? But every time I saw him, he must have had the extra smalls on. But it was mental. It was like he was running around in hot pants. It was bizarre to see because he was so. They were great pins, though. Fair play to him. If you want to expose like the finest getaway sticks, then you do it, mate.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Do you know the other thing, Mark, as well? The Tongans, the big Tongans that are blessed with giant calves the size of my quads, they can't fit the match socks around their calves.
Oh, that's Is so that true. Why they always have them? So literally, I always wondered they never have them up.
Because they can't pull them up over their calves because they're so wide. They're like my quad.
Bro, yeah, it's like that Spider-Man meme. You know when Tobey Maguire's like holding the train back. That's literally the socks on some of those boys' calves. Just screaming in protest as this fabric just can't take the Tongan musculature. Bro, yeah.
Unbelievable
That's too
scenes.
good. That is
Bro,
too
calves
good.
like Kleenex lorries. So much tissue.
Fucking mental, isn't it?
And I'm sure all of our sort of Chiefs or Munster fans who are listening will be thrilled that our roundup was Henry Slade, great legs. Also, let's talk pins, but let's continue round.
Yeah, my heart bleeds for
Yeah,
you,
no,
Munster.
let's talk
I'm
about
so
that.
sorry. My heart bleeds for you.
Fine, and also just in the last moments, it's worth pointing out a great win for Leicester in Paris, beating Stade Francais with what was not necessarily their first team. So they are looking and cooking in the Champions Cup.
With that win from Leicester, everyone say that completely fucks everything I've been saying. The Prem have just won 5. URC 4 and top 14 3. So yeah, well, there you go. The Premiership have dominated it again.
I'm telling you, boys. It's just talent's game.
Yeah, you know what? I'm happy anyway because Exeter beat Munster and that helped the thing. So
Let's move on to transfers now. Couple of lines. Eddie Jones to Japan, not a surprise, but still, after everything that he'd said, like, haven't had a word, never heard from them. Looks like it's signed, sealed, and delivered.
he's a fucking liar, mate. Right, you fucking liar, Eddie. What the fuck is going on there, Max?
I don't know. It's the worst kept secret ever, isn't it?
But you do feel for some of the players, the Aussie players that didn't get a look
Mate,
at it.
it's mental. Like
last
some guys'
song.
last swan songs, and they've just been axed unceremoniously for no good reason. It's devious. The bloke should have a tail on him. They should call him a fox, Weasley. But anyway, it's Eddie Jones. He does what he wants. He's the man.
But yeah, you do feel for him. It's fucking bullshit. And
Yeah, it was downright dishonest. That's what that was.
Do you know what's interesting is that the fact that he's now going to be spending a lot of time in Japan, he'll be probably bumping into the bloke he took over from that was on a fucking roll and doing good things at Australia. After speaking to the likes of Angus Bell, Taniela Tupou, saying how good Dave Rennie was, suddenly they're going to be crossing paths in Japan. Who wins a fight out of that? Dave Rennie, because he's got the size of the...
Come on,
he's got big old calves as well.
Yeah, but Eddie's a small, wizened old man now. Like, Dave Rennie definitely got that.
Let's go on to the other news
Let's go on.
which is obviously RG
Wait.
Snyman.
Firstly, it's not. It's Achi Snyman. That's how they pronounce it. Fact.
Achi.
Yeah, Achi Snyman to Leinster.
Oh, I would know if he ever played.
That's mental.
But boys, he's been at Munster for 4 seasons, 10 appearances, 6 off the bench. That's it. And then Leinster are going, we'll have him. 10 appearances in 4 seasons. I know, fair. We can't blame him. He's had 2 ACL reconstructions and he's been fucked. And now he's injured again after the World Cup. But are you Leinster and going, oh yeah, we'll have a bit of that? Like what's going on there? Is there something going on there? Because
Niebnar knows, bro. Big Jock knows his boy. He knows if he's good, if he's got it in him.
Yeah, okay. I'm also thinking there could be a tax issue there because
you were going dark, and you were going to go just throw up some complete and utter dirt. Go on.
No, because there's tax benefits for staying in Ireland, isn't there? You get your tax back at the end of if you retire
you have to retire, don't you?
Yeah, so maybe he's just thinking, 2 ACLs. Hold on. 2 ACLs. I've just had another op. I've just won a World Cup. Maybe, if I can stay here for another season and call it a day, I claim all my tax back.
Shit. So hang on. So what we are saying, a roundabout way, is obviously it's not his fault with the Munster stuff. I don't think even Munster fans, if there was a one-eyed Munster fan who said he didn't obviously achieve what he wanted to achieve, but it's not his fault. But do you think he's got on the blower to his buddy Jacques and gone, mate, can I come across and then just hang out and then
I'm not saying that.
I think it's going to be a great signing for them. As if he stays fit, he's obviously going to be unbelievable.
But he's played 10 games in 4 years.
See, when we put that clip out about Henry Arundel and RG Snyman, a lot of people were talking about RG Snyman going to Bath and saying we don't want him, like he's always injured. I'm just reading here, when the sports person reaches retirement as an active sports person, they can claim back tax for any 10 years of their active sports career in Ireland, 40% deduction from gross qualifying receipts. What does that mean?
So he gets his 40% back, basically.
And what, 450 grand a year? That's
there you
a
go.
bit of cash. So, yeah, hey, listen, we're just speculating. We shouldn't be doing this. This is really naughty of us, but makes sense.
Right, well, let's go with more trouble stuff, potentially, in the Prem. Mario Itoje and Jamie George, hybrid contracts. Obviously, good news for the RFU.
Enhanced hybrid contracts. That was the phrasing. Enhanced. Ooh.
Okay, Max, come on, buddy. Talk to us. Talk to us here. Is there at all a financial element of economic doping? With the fact that Saracens, why? Okay, fine. Of course, they've got two players that are going to be picked for England. But isn't it unfair on, let's say, other clubs that have less England players, that they don't just get free handouts that are not counted against the salary cap, right?
Oh,
Max, over to you.
This is some very, very shark-infested waters we're delving into. And I'm going to jump headlong.
This is not what you need when you get a hangover. You got anxiety,
and
you also sit on the RPA, and now you're talking about it. The eyes are doing overtime now.
I know, bro.
Go on.
Is it unfair? I suppose it is. I don't know enough about. I can't speak. I don't know enough about the deal. I can't see the noughts and crosses, so. It's hard to know what exactly has been done. I'm sure, given Saracens' history with other things, that they made the deals fair and legal.
It does seem a bit unfair to some of the other clubs, and you look at like clubs that are going down the pan as well. I don't know. It doesn't seem overly fair that suddenly all this chat, Marrow's going to have to leave, or because of it. And they swoop in and help out. You're like, well, hold on a minute. That doesn't seem very fair.
This is dangerous territory.
Well, okay.
But some people get their cake and eat it, old bean.
Right. I mean, there is certainly an element. He was quite literally that we don't know for a fact whether he was. There were a lot of clubs interested in him. There's a lot of headlines around the fact that Marrow could be leaving to go abroad, and that certainly his salary was going to be at least halved because he couldn't be a marquee player anymore because Owen Farrell was taking that spot. And then it's very lucky. It's not as great. I mean, it's obviously great for England that he will continue to be an international with that hybrid contract and the RFU stepping in to top up that money. But it does feel a bit unfair, right, in a way, to other clubs that don't have that.
Well, what other clubs does it happen at? Let's try and work that out. What other clubs does it happen at the moment?
Well, there's none. They've only done two, right?
Why are Bristol not getting it for someone like Genge?
Because of the deals still the deals are still in play that they signed originally.
So that means they've set precedent now. They're going to have to do the same for Bristol.
Yeah, but they only do it for how many? Is it 20?
Yeah, I think it's 20.
So they can only do it for 20 England players. It can't. The thing is, don't the other unions, the ones that run their domestic competition around the national team, sort of like the All Blacks in Ireland, don't they have a similar sort of?
Yeah, of course they do. Like Wales do, Scotland do as well. There's some players are paid more.
Yeah, so like I don't see what I think it's just.
I think it's just the fact that it's only those two players. But what are the players?
No, but it'll be the other. It'll be all those guys who are going to come up at the other clubs. So all the sort of guys that England are going to prioritise for the future when their next deals come up. I'm sure that's what's going to be done because
it makes sense for them Bristol to go out and try and get every single England player because then they get some of their wages.
Well, no, because then they don't turn out. They don't turn out for Bristol as much because they get managed in a different way, don't they?
Yeah, I know, but there's a fair whack of money they're saving, and they can do some damage when they're not there. So, anyway,
look, it still incentivizes clubs to have England players, which is probably the right thing. From if you're
it's good.
Yeah,
it
is good, and we're not. Let's not just find issues for the sake of it. Let's finish off with our couple of other transfers. Johnny Gray to Bordeaux.
Oh, Yeah, I was texting him the other week and I said, "Are you off to France?" He went, "Oh, not sure." And then literally it came in. I texted him saying, "No trust, zero trust." And he went, "Oh, Wilson, don't be like that." Tried to flog me a fucking moped that sat in the kit man's cage at Glasgow. And I'm saying, "Mate, you try to rip me off on that. You're going to Bordeaux as well. You might as well take it with you fucker." But fair play to him. He's following his brother's footsteps down there. He'll do all right in France. He will do all right. He's a big old lump.
What a place. Great city. Jealous. He'll have fun.
Yeah, but he's not as loose as some of them. So he'll just go down there and he just wants an easy life, Big John.
Just wants an easy life.
Yeah, he'll be down there just... Do you know what I mean? If I went down there, I'd just...
Bro, the first words he said to me about you were, "Be very, very wary. He is an unhinged psycho."
Oh, that's nice.
That's what he said about me.
That's such a lovely...
I was like this. I know that.
It's just nice to get glowing references from friends, I find. Do you know?
Yeah, but in a good way. He'll also say that I'll look up.
No, it was in the most genial of ways. Don't worry, it wasn't like deadpan. He's Jeffrey Dahmer in a skin suit. Don't worry,
Too good.
That's it then.
And there's one last, Jasper Wiese leaving Leicester. That's a big one. That's a big loss for the Tigers.
Where's he going, Rye? You know these things. You've got a
Japan.
crystal ball. Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think he's going to Japan.
Oh, that's sad.
That's what I reckon. Don't know how I know that. I've just made that up in my mind, but that's where he's going for all the cash, for all the yen. Oh God, I wish I was him.
Anyway, boys, that on that fabulously uplifting Sunday night note, that is sadly all the time we've got left for this week. A huge thank you to Ryan and Max, to our sponsors, Wolf Craig, of course, who we love, who are always there with us. And do watch out, because this week we have got the big one. It's Christmas with the Russells.
I'm very much looking forward to it. See you later.
It's going to be fabulous. But yeah, big special coming out, and we will see you all for our Christmas special in the week. Look forward to that. Bye.
More or nothing.